In order to find the roots of an equation, if you can't factor, you could use something called the quadratic formula. Now the quadratic formula is this equation right here, the x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, in order for us to be able to use the quadratic formula, you have to have your equation into standard form. Standard form looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So the a being in front of the x squared, the b being in front of the x, and the c being the constant, the number, all by itself. Now, the question posed to us is to find the roots of the equation 3x squared minus 10x plus 5. When you start with the quadratic formula, it's a good idea to figure out what your a, your b, and your c are equal to begin with. So if we look at our a being in front of the x squared, we get a 3, b in front of the x is negative 10, and the c is going to be 5. Now our goal is to substitute this into the quadratic formula. So we end up with x equals opposite b, same thing as negative b, so double negative or opposite 10, negative 10 would be positive 10, plus or minus the square root of our b squared, so negative 10 squared minus 4 times 3 times 5, all over 2 times 3. Now the goal here is just to simplify. So as we simplify, we have x equals 10 plus or minus the square root of 100 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 5 is 60, all over 2 times 3 is 6. Keep reducing that. You have x equals 10 plus or minus radical 40 over 6. Now if you can reduce the radical, you're going to want to reduce the radical. So our radical 40 is going to reduce to 10 plus or minus 2 rad 10 all over 6. Now just like reducing the radical, you want to see if you could also reduce the fraction. Now our 10, our 2 rad 10, and our 6 all have a 2 in common. So if I take 2 out of 10, I get a 5, 2 out of the 2, we get a 1, and 2 out of the 6, we end up with a 3. So the roots of this quadratic equation are going to end up being x equals 5 plus or minus rad 10 all over 3. And that's your final solution for the roots.